Good morning. Mr. Douglas, how old are you? I'm 46. Were you born and raised in Los Angeles? Yes. What part of LA have you spent most of your time? Windsor Hills area? Okay, is that in South Los Angeles? Yes. What do you do for a living? I do multiple jobs. I clean the parking lot, I do inventory, oversee packaging, I run the cell phone shop. I'm on the team. Okay, and when you refer to doing all those things, do you mean you do those things for the businesses that were owned and operated by Nipsey Joseph Askedon or Nipsey Hussle? Yes. Let me show you Grand Jury Exhibit 2. Can you see that exhibit on the monitor? Oh, Madam Foreperson, if you would raise the monitor for the witness, please. I'm sorry. A little bit more. Okay, and is that a photograph of Ermias Joseph Askedon, also known as Nipsey Hussle? Yes. How long have you known, or how long did you know him before his passing? I met him in 2003. And if you could, how would you describe your relationship with him over the years? Just a good friend, like a son, like a dad, just overall, all around good friends. Good friend of mine. Okay, I'm sorry, did you say what year you met him? 2003. Okay, and what was his connection to the area at 3420 Slauson? Let me show the people Grand Jury Exhibit number 4, this area. This area, the area that you referred to when you said, I work in the parking lot, I do inventory. You're talking about this area, correct? Yes. What is this area? It's a shopping center. It's a shopping center on Slauson and Crenshaw. Okay, and looking at this exhibit, there's a strip mall with certain businesses labeled Master Burger, Tax Insurance, T-Mobile, Fish, Barber. Did the Askedon family own and operate that location? Yes. Now, did they own and operate all the businesses there or just some of them? We own most. They operate most of them. 2 businesses pay rent. The Master's Burger and the tax place pay rent. We need to take that break now. I'm so sorry to interrupt your testimony, but we'll get you right back on the stand as soon as we can. Welcome back, Mr. Douglas. Go ahead and take that seat and adjust that microphone. Okay. And I have to ask you, hello? Okay. I have to ask you again if you left your cell phone outside. Yes. And have you no recording devices on you? No. That was a double negative. So you do not have any recording devices, correct? Yes. Okay. All right. So, Madam Foreperson, we do need to remind the witness of the oath, but there's a short version. Yes, because the witness has previously been sworn, and the short version is section number 13, page 8. You will recall that you have been previously sworn in and you are still under oath. Please restate your name. Herman Douglas. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. And Madam Foreperson, with your permission, may Mr. McKinney proceed? Yes. Thank you. Go ahead. All right, Mr. Douglas, before the break, can you lift his monitor, please? Oh, Madam Foreperson, the monitor for the witness? Not a problem. Little bit more. Too much, Mr. Douglas? There we go. Okay. And Mr. Douglas,
But what I want to know is, this is how they want to continue the confusion and label people. I'm going through it just as y'all going through it. This is just the beginning, right? But what I want to reinstate here is the fact that they will put out what I am reading here and what y'all are hearing is the transcript. This is the transcript, what I'm reading from. This is the transcript. So my thing is, why would they give out the transcript but not the audio recording? It's something about that.
if that falls, just pull it.
Here, they could type up and put in and put out whatever they choose to. But the audio is something different.
Back up, okay? All right. Okay, go ahead. Okay, before the break, I had asked you about Nipsey. I'll call him Nipsey because that's what you called him, right? Yes. Nipsey's connection to this area, and you said that the family owned this entire plaza and operated the barbershop, what was going to be the fish restaurant, the T-Mobile store, and the Marathon clothing store, correct? Yes. And then they leased out the business, the space for the Master Burger, and the tax and insurance business, correct? We have the insurance company too. Okay. That's all storage. Okay. And just so the record's clear, you're referring to Grand Jury Exhibit number 4. Go ahead. How often did Nipsey visit this area? Let's say in the year before his death. How often would he come by this location? If he was in town, I would see him just about maybe every morning. He would roll up, like maybe he'd catch me out there maybe 8:30 in the morning, 7:30, or I would see him going down Slauson to drop his daughter off. If he was in town and he wasn't on a show, he would show up just about every day, every other day. Okay, in the morning times. In the year before his death, give us a sense of how often that was. I would say 3-4 times a week if he's in town. If he was in town? Yeah. How often? Were there some months when he wouldn't come at all? No. Okay, so if he had a busy work schedule or whatever it may be, if he was in town, he was definitely coming by the shop. So is it fair to say that he visited this area at least once every month in the year prior to his death? Yes. And it would vary depending on what his schedule was, whether he would be there a couple of times a week or maybe some weeks not at all? Yes. When he visited this location, were they public appearances? Were they announced visits? Or would he just stop by and just work the businesses? He would just stop by. When he was there, generally speaking, what would he do? Normally, he would roll up and he'd just be in his car most of the time texting or whatever. He would get out of the car occasionally and talk to people, but most of the time he would roll up and basically sit in his car, you know. If he had an appearance or if it was a public event, then we would all know. So he normally would just roll up on his own. When he visited on prior occasions, that's prior to March 31st, would he typically arrive there alone or with security? Always by himself. Only time he ever really had security is when he was on the road or on tour. As far as being in the inner city or coming to the job, he never had security ever. Were you expecting to see him on March 31st? No. When did you first become aware that he was at the location that day? Just that day I was doing my normal rounds or whatever it may be, and I looked out and he pulled up in the parking lot. Approximately what time did he get there? You know, I have no idea, but it had to be around lunchtime because I just ordered my lunch. So I normally take a lunch around 1, so I'm not really sure of the exact time though. And if you could tell us, was there anything distinctive about the way he was dressed that day? Nipsey? Yes. Distinctive? I remember he had on some shorts. Do you recall whether he had anything on his head? Oh yeah, the do-rag on his head. What color was the do-rag? I'm not sure. I can't recall offhand. All right, let me show you. I want to say blue. I'm not sure. I'm going to show you a part of a video from Grand Jury Exhibit number 11. Before you do that, Mr. Douglas, can you explain to the grand jurors who may not know what a do-rag is? It's like a wave cap to keep your hair. It's a wave cap, something to keep your hair when you get it braided, something to put on your head so it won't frizz up. Thank you. All right, Grand Jury Exhibit number 11 has a video from 3 different cameras. This will be cam number 6, and this particular clip has a date and time stamp at the top left. We're looking up here. Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to advance this clip to 1346 and ask you to focus on that same. Did you see a dark colored vehicle pull in and park in front of the barbershop? Yes. Okay, I'm going to ask you to continue to focus on that video, and I'm going to go to 1346. You see the person getting out of that vehicle? Yes. Do you recognize who that is? Yes. Who is that? Nipsey Hussle. Okay, he's walking across the lot. Do you see him greeting someone? Yes. Do you know who that person is? Rim Pal. And finally, someone just appeared to walk out of the Marathon store. Do you know who that is? That's me. So does this video clip accurately show Nipsey's arrival to the store that day? Yes.
This is my thing right there. You know, I don't know how Rem Paul plays into this whole situation. I don't know if he's on stand. I don't know if he's a part of the investigation. But I would say if he didn't get cleared by Rem Paul to say his name, which I probably did. You know, niggas like clout. I mean, Rem Paul probably didn't do nothing, so you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I could see how when people would get on the stand and people would start saying people's name, they'd be like, oh yeah, he snitched. Oh yeah, he did this. He shouldn't have said his name. He shouldn't have did this. But being from the streets, in order to get up there and say somebody's name, you had to know the type of questions that they was gonna ask. And those that was in the parking lot that day, I'm pretty sure that everybody got their story together. But all in all, you know what I'm saying, being on the stand, you know, I definitely get it. But let's clear it on, because people is hitting up here calling him a rat when we gonna get the facts straight though. We got the paperwork, you know, we gonna read the paperwork through, you gonna hear it, and we gonna, you know what I'm saying, I'm just gonna interject. That's it, that's all.
Now, I'm letting the video play at this point. It's at 42:37. And while it's playing, it appears that you, Nipsey, and Rimpao are all talking to each other in the parking lot. Is that correct? Yes. Did you continue to talk to Nipsey and Rimpao for the next, 10, 15 minutes or so? Yes. I'm going to pause that video at that point at 13:47:35. And I want to show you grand jury number 3. Do you recognize the person shown here? Yes. Who is that? That's Shitty. Do you know him by another name other than Shitty? Eric now. What did you know him by on that day? Shitty. Did you learn that his true name is Eric Holder after that day? Yes. Did you know him prior to that day? Yes. What did you know about him before that day? I just know he was from the neighborhood. What does that mean, from the neighborhood? He's one of the neighborhood homies, one of the homies from the hood. Now, you testified earlier that this area of Crenshaw and Slauson is an area, well, maybe you didn't. Let me ask you. Is there a gang that hung out, sort of claimed the area where the shopping center is? That's the Rolling 60s. How do you know that it's the Rolling 60s neighborhood? That's where I'm from. Okay, so you're a member of the Rolling 60s gang? No, I'm an ex-member, but yes. Okay, and what about Nipsey? Do you know if he was from Rolling 60s? Yes. And what about Holder? Yes. Do you? Yes. You believe he was too? Yes, he was. Okay, did you see Eric Holder that day? Yes. How did you first become aware that he was at the location? When he pulled up in the car, Nipsey had spotted him and he asked Rimpao, is that Shitty? So going back to grand jury exhibit number 4, you said when he pulled up in the car, first of all, can you describe the car that you saw him arrive in? I just remember, I think it was a white car. I really couldn't remember what kind of make. Maybe a Honda or something. I'm not sure. All I remember, it's a type of white car. Okay, did you see that car enter the parking lot from one of the streets? Yes. How did it enter? Off of Slauson. Okay, I'm pointing to Slauson Avenue. Yes. Did it enter into the driveway closest to the barbershop? Yes. And that means that when it entered, it was facing southbound, correct? Facing south. Meaning facing the Marathon store? Yes. And then what did the car do after it pulled into the lot? Turned in and parked over there by, I guess over by those red cars over here. It came across and pulled in right over here somewhere. Over where I'm holding the point.
But let me say this though, all the information that he's given on Shitty, aka Eric Holder, is all on video. So by him being on the stand, pointing out it's not really snitching. He's narrating what's on the video that the whole world saw. So, you know, people could say it, but I mean, it does look bad getting up there, being on the stand and, you know what I'm saying, and telling and, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of people department, it's like find somebody else to do that, you know what I'm saying, but y'all would have to ask CowBoy why'd he get up there, and then on top of that, y'all holding this nigga accountable when he was on stand saying that he's not a Rolling 60, he's a He's a civilian. So whatever he does or how he gets on the stand and whatever he says is a civilian statement.
Pointer? Yeah, somewhere close like that, about there. So basically parked in front of the Master Burger, correct? Yeah, but closer to these cars though, yeah. Closer to the row of cars that's in the northern part of the parking lot? Yes. That's closer to Slauson? Yes. And if you're going left to right, the number 2 car is a red car. So it was right in front of that car? Front or behind that car? Right in between those two, somewhere up in there. Okay. And you testified that... This is a good time to break. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Douglas, but we take our lunch break at this time, and I had hoped we would be able to finish with you before lunch, but we're not going to be able to. So we're going to have you come back. Herman Douglas, called as a witness before the grand jury of the County of Los Angeles, having been previously sworn, resumed the stand and testified further as follows. And we have to remind Mr. Douglas of his oath again. You will recall that you have previously been sworn and are still under oath. Please restate your name. Herman Douglas. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. And as well, you left your cell phone outside and you have no recording devices on you, correct? Yes. Thank you so much. Madam Foreperson, with your permission, may Mr. McKinney proceed? Yes. All right, thank you. It's better for the grand jurors and the witness if the lights are dimmer. I don't mind. Go ahead. Thank you, though. Okay, Mr. Douglas, at the break I think you were testifying about seeing Mr. Holder arrive. Do you recall that? Yes. And you described how he entered the parking lot in a white car from Slauson, correct? Yes. Was he the driver or passenger in that car? Passenger. Does that mean that when the car first went by your location, he was closer to you than the driver was? Yes. And you testified that when the car went by, Nipsey made some reference to him. Is that correct? Yes. Tell us about that. Well, he just made a reference to Rimpau. He was just inquiring, is that shitty? Because I think nobody hadn't seen him in some years. Okay, so you heard Nipsey say, is that shitty, as the car went by? Yes. When he said that, did you look into the car and see Holder in the passenger seat? No, the car passed me, so I really couldn't see. I just overheard what he had said, and that's what got me curious of the car, and that's when Holder approached us. Okay, so my next question was, you described the car coming to a stop in the parking lot adjacent to the Master Burger, closer to the northern row of cars parked in the lot. What happened next? Shitty got out of the car and walked up and spoke to us. Okay, and when he approached you, can you tell us anything about how he was dressed? He didn't have a shirt on. He had no shirt on? He had no shirt on. Do you recall anything else about the way he was dressed? Maybe he might have had on some shorts, jean shorts or something, I'm not sure. Let me show you a grand jury exhibit. This is grand jury exhibit number 8. Do you recognize the person in this exhibit? Yes. Who is that? Shitty. Holder. Okay, and did he appear, meaning was his dress the same on that afternoon as he's shown in this exhibit? Yes. Do you know, this is some sort of a crop photo, but do you know the location where he was when this image was taken? Yes. Where is that? Master Burgers. Do you recall approximately how long you were in the lot with Nipsey before Holder arrived? Maybe a good 30, 40 minutes, maybe. About 30 minutes, something like that. 30, 40 minutes. During the time period you were with him, did you ever leave his side? No. Meaning Nipsey's side? No. Mr. Douglas, can you get a little bit closer to that microphone? And in that time period, from the time he arrived to the time Holder arrived, can you tell us just generally what was going on? What was Nipsey doing? Well, when he got out of the car, we started talking. I was just telling him how proud I was of him about a video he had did a couple of days ago, just talking about the career. He had just been in the studio, talking to Rimpau, just talking about it. Felt like old times again, just talking and reminiscing. A couple people jumped out, wanted autographs coming out of the store. He signed a few photographs and talking to the fans. Okay, and what was his attitude and demeanor like before Holder arrived? He was just kicking back, laughing, having fun, just being himself. Did his attitude or demeanor change any after Holder approached your group? It didn't change, really. He just had a conversation, and like Nipsey was more or less trying to look out for the dude, was trying to help him, like basically warning the dude, like, they got some paperwork on you. I haven't read the paperwork, but you got to watch your back. Okay, let me stop you right there because I want to ask a question to get to that point. Okay. So you testified that after Holder got out of the car, did you see the first place he went to after he got out of the car?
I'm gonna pause it right there due to the severity, street severity of that. This is the thing. I know niggas be telling niggas, and you feel me, and the street said X, Y, and the third. Nip told that nigga, get out the store, snitch money don't spend here, X, Y, and the third, right? But this is like I tell niggas the mistakes. That's no longer your business that nigga snitching. It's not your business no more, bro. You are you got it fucked up. Like, you can't be in the streets. You want to be a civilian, but you want to play the street game. Like, that shit don't mix, bro. Like, that's the time when hey, nigga, whatever happened, nigga, you ain't seen that nigga in years. Nigga, according to this nigga, you ain't seen that nigga in years, and X, Y, and the third. That, of course, that nigga know what's going on. You feel me? If niggas got paperwork on him, or I'm pretty sure somebody else in it within they section told him, oh yeah, X, Y, and third, and them saying you snitching on him, or you done snitched, or you feel me? So that is not Nipsey Hussle place. That was a move that he abused his situation with, nigga. Niggas gonna try to go after the most. Just like the cops try to go after the most flamboyant nigga that's selling drugs, this nigga not gonna go after other niggas. Like, nigga, you a bitch. You ain't in the streets out here killing niggas, and you gonna call me a snitch? So he took it to him, knowing, what I'm saying, he had some niggas around him, but at the same time, niggas not gonna forget what this nigga shitty used to do. You know what I'm saying? Before he snitched or after he snitched, or if he snitched, allegedly. I don't fucking know. But when you got that much money, when you elevated yourself so far away from the streets to where you making it better for people around you, you don't deal with that type of stuff no more. You don't even tell niggas like that. Like, you tell niggas, I don't even want to know who's snitching because I don't even give a fuck. Like, that shit don't concern me. You feel me? And that was one of his mistakes. Like, on some real shit, like, he shouldn't have said nothing about that man telling allegedly or none of that shit.
I think he came straight to us, then he went to Masterburger, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure I think he came straight to us, I'm not sure. Okay, but at some point he did come to your group, correct? Yes. Tell us what happened as best you can, including the conversation, if any, that you heard between him and Nipsey after he approached the group. Well, I remember them shaking their hands. I remember Nip like, hey man, what's up? Where have you been, bro? Like that. And he like, I've been gone. I've been gone. I've been out the way or whatever. And then Nipsey was like, man, they got some paperwork on you, I haven't read it, like, you my bro, like you need to maybe take care of that, Let me stop you there. And I hate to interrupt you, but can you please...
And let me stop that right there, because that's how a lot of niggas get fucked up in the world, especially in LA. Like, a lot of shit goes sour with a nigga name. A lot of niggas try to say shit about niggas when they have no proof. Oh, what I'm saying, this nigga snitched. This nigga, all the type of like bullshit niggas just say about niggas that they don't like and shit like that. Like, that's one of the easiest things to put smut on a nigga name, is to say that nigga told. You feel me? That nigga told. And why is that? Is just because a group of niggas just don't like him, or he probably did tell. I don't fucking know. But, you know what I'm saying? When you don't have no paperwork on a nigga, and when it ain't no paperwork saying X, Y, and the third name is on here for telling, and you don't bring that shit up, bro, you be like, psh, man, you let that nigga bring it up. Cause I mean, especially a nigga that's allegedly a killer, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? That nigga killer, he gonna feel some type of way. Like, what, nigga, I kill niggas and you know, nigga, dust you. So that's the type of shit you just let it pan out the way it's gonna pan out. Because when you don't have no paperwork, ain't seen the paperwork, whatever it is, if a nigga saying that nigga snitching, you just fall back from him, bro. And instead of falling back, you know what I'm saying, you trying to look out for a nigga, but you know what I'm saying, obviously it wasn't being said the way that this nigga CowBoy is saying it, because even if it was that way, you know what I'm saying, it ain't no reason to kill the nigga. But he probably was saying it the way it rubbed that nigga the wrong way. Like, nigga on hood, nigga, you a snitch, nigga saying they got your nigga, you ain't supposed to be up here, nigga, get your mark ass from up here, woo, nigga, you ain't no good, and you know what I'm saying? It could have been like that allegedly, but you know what I'm saying? He's saying that he was trying to look out for the nigga, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, to me personally, I feel like that's a crock of bullshit. I feel like the nigga was getting at that nigga street way. You feel me? Like, nigga, your money don't spend here, or nigga, you a rat, nigga, woo woo. But I feel like he shouldn't even had no influence, no business, no words for that. He, like, that shouldn't even been his response. Just, what's up, bro? What you been? Oh, you, all right, nigga, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go up in this shop and let other niggas handle it. But niggas always want to show and be like, oh, nigga, I'm still in the hood. Nigga, I can still do this. Nigga, you feel me? Nigga, come on, bro. Nigga, when is it that, you feel me? Niggas is like, all right, boom. Nigga, I made it out the hood. Now, I ain't even got to worry about that shit no more. Niggas is still worried about the hood politics, nigga, when the hood is what's going to bring you down. Like, that's what I don't get about niggas. Like, niggas will, nigga, deal with the hood politics, but look what happened.
Explain what paperwork means. Like, he was in jail for snitching, or he had told on somebody or something, there's rumors going around that he had told on somebody some particular stuff he may have told on, and Nipsey had told him that he hadn't read it. I haven't read any paperwork. I don't know, but you need to address it, or, basically telling the guy you need to be careful, because people got some paperwork on you. Okay, let me stop you right there. In gang culture, paperwork is a term that usually refers to police reports or court documents, correct? Yes. So if a gang member says to another gang member, you better be careful because there's some paperwork that says you told or you snitched, what they're referring to is some police reports or some court documents that show that the person was cooperating with the police, or maybe told something about gang business or crime or something like that. Is that correct? Yes. So that we follow up to this point in your testimony, you heard Nipsey telling that to Holder, correct? Yes. And he was telling Holder you might want to address that or take care of that? Yes. What does that mean, or what did that mean to you? That means, like, say, for instance, they had paperwork on me, I'm going to go address it. Like, if I know I'm not a bad or whatever, I'm going to come let somebody know, like, hold up, or, what's going on, I'm going to come clear. If there's some paperwork, I'm going to bring my court papers. I just got out of jail for a case or whatever. I'm going to come to the hood with my paper and say, look, this is what happened in the case, and maybe clear it up if I know I hadn't done nothing wrong. Why would somebody who's a rolling 60s need to clear up an accusation that there's some paperwork that says they're snitching? Well, if they're not snitching, they need to clear it up so that they won't, get hurt or whatever it may be. Okay, because in gang culture, snitching is not a good thing to be known to do, correct? Yes.
Everybody.
What are some of the consequences that can flow from somebody who snitches? Everything from getting beat up to getting killed. Did Nipsey ever say specifically what Holder supposedly snitched about? No. Did he mention any names? No. Any cases? No. Any circumstances that you could describe in terms of what the snitching was about? No. Okay, now that we've clarified that, please continue with what you heard from the point where you left off. So when he told him, basically that he was kind of looking out for him, telling him to address the paperwork, and then Shitty got to saying, oh yeah, motherfuckers be hating on me. They be hating on me, And then Nip was like, so y'all know what I'm talking about. And he was like, no, people be hating on me. Then he looked and he asked us, had we heard this rap? Had we heard his new song? He said, yeah, I've been in the studio. I did my new song. Who said that? Shitty. He asked us, had we heard it? And we're like, nah, we haven't heard your song or whatever. And I think at that time, he might have shook our hand again. And I think he might have peeled off to go to the car, talk to the girl or something. Then he went back to Master Burger. Okay, was the conversation that you witnessed in that time period mainly a conversation between Holder and Nipsey? Yes. Were you chiming in at all with anything? You know, I chimed in a couple times, and when he started to mention the songs and I looked at him, he just looked kind of weird, like I don't know, maybe he was high or whatever it may be. Basically, I told Nip at one point, come on, let's go in, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, just check in. In that parking lot, we don't hang out too much like that. So Nip is there, you know, we hang out for a little bit. It's time to get inside. So we had been out there too long already. And basically I told him, come on, let's go in. And I think at that time he had started to sign somebody else's autograph, but that's a little bit later. Was there anything about Holder that made you feel like you wanted to get Nipsey away from him? I mean, it was a straight snake move, something in my gut. I felt something in my gut, and I asked myself, like at that split second, I asked myself, why do I feel this way, you know? Just his presence made me had an uneasy feeling about him, his demeanor, and the stuff he was saying. It was no hint of any animosity. There was no hint of anything. Like I said, it was like a straight snake move. Had they had any type of words, I would have escorted him out, you know? Had they just had...
And that's kind of weird, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that part right there is very, very, very weird. Like, even though I don't believe other shit that the nigga was saying, but let's allegedly say that it was like that. You feel me? They was cool and he felt it was some snake shit. Then he already felt that he was coming up there to do something to the nigga. And then that drifts off into the notion or the thesis that he was sent up there by somebody in higher parts. You feel what I'm saying? Because if they ain't beefing and they ain't saying shit, something else is going on.
Any type of, it was just a straight snake move. I never in a million years would I have thought he would have come back and done that, Judging by the conversation, I understand somebody's arguing and somebody leaves out. You kind of expect that. But there was never no argument. It was never, like I said, Nipsey was basically looking out for him, telling him that, I haven't read it. I don't know if it's true or not, but you need to address it. That's what Nipsey was doing. And what was Holder's attitude? I know you said that this was a conversation that didn't seem particularly heated to you, right? Yeah. They were both speaking in a normal tone of voice? Yes. Did you feel anybody was disrespecting the other person? Not at all, not at all. Had any disrespect went down, I would have escorted him off the parking lot. Okay, let me show you an exhibit. This is Grand Jury Exhibit number 9. Okay, do you recognize what's shown in this exhibit? Yeah. Okay, let me ask you some questions.
Okay, let me say this, though. To this point, I mean, it's already really out there in the street, that he basically told Shitty that he was snitching. Either it be in the store, he told him his money don't spend here, or in the parking lot and told that nigga, you need to be careful. Either way it goes, it's not your business no more, bro. You ain't seen this nigga in years, allegedly. So, nigga, that's not your business. You feel me? You was coming up with the nigga, whatever he left, whatever, y'all the parties. That's not your business no more, bro. It's not your business. And niggas gotta understand that, bro. Like, nigga, it's like that. I forgot what scene it was, but the nigga told that, nigga, in Training Day. Told that nigga, you wanna go to jail or you wanna go home? You wanna go to jail or you wanna go home? So, nigga, tell me. And that's how it is in this situation. It's like, you feel what I'm saying? You wanna wake up tomorrow and not have to watch your back every day? Or nigga, you still want to play by the rules of the street, nigga, and have to watch your back every day and watch your moves, nigga. You didn't have to worry about your moves in LA until you opened your mouth about that particular situation. And nigga, that's what got you gunned down. Niggas, I mean, I'm not saying nothing bad about the nigga. Nigga, I know the, you feel me? I know the nigga, bro. I ain't, no cap on it, but you know what I'm saying? Niggas gotta understand, even niggas that I like make mistakes, nigga. Costly mistakes. Just because I fucking know them, or nigga, I hang with them, hung out with them, nigga. Listen to their music, don't listen to their music. Everybody is entitled to make mistakes, but you gotta watch the mistakes you make, because they could be your last one. It could be your last one, bro. You feel me? And that'll really fuck up a whole lot of shit. All right, give me a second.
Specifically. Now, this is an exhibit that shows the parking lot in front of the Marathon store, correct? Yes. Do you see this white car here off to the right side of the exhibit? Yes. Is that the car holder arrived in? That definitely looks like it, because at some point in time they were facing this way, and at some point in time they were facing that way, because I remember.
Nowhere up until this point has CowBoy, aka Herman Douglas, said anything incriminating that people in the streets did not report, or that was reported in the findings of their investigation. Basically he was telling them the same shit that everybody else knew. That Nip told the nigga, he a snitch, and either he can't be over here, or, he need to check it out. Nigga, the footage of the parking lot, shit like that. Everything that niggas is saying on this, up until this point, it ain't been no snitching. So, we gonna go ahead, and get it together for part 2.